Hello everyone, you're welcome to today's class. So in this class, we want to look at another topic, and that is probability. So under this topic, we'll be looking at the following objectives. So we want to look at definition of probability. After that, we'll look at the terms that we use in probability. Then identify and explain probability scales, mutually exclusive events. So these are the things that we want to look at in this video. So specifically, so when we talk about probability, if you look at your daily activities, there are some things that they happen by chance. So, and the measure of likelihood that something will happen or will not happen is what referred to as a probability. That is, so what is the likelihood that you are going to do a particular event? So is it going to happen or is it not going to happen? Let's say, for instance, what is the likelihood that you're going to be in a particular place tomorrow? So it is likely, you are not very sure of its occurrence. So whether it will happen or it will not happen. So the measure or the study of that event, whether it's going to happen or it will not happen, is what refers to as what? Probability. And it's very long topic. So I would advise that you stay till the end of this video so that you to get the maximum benefit from it. So let me just quickly write what probability is. Now that would solve the problem of the first objective here, which is probability. Probability is the measure is the measure is the measure of likelihood of an event happening or not happening. If you look at this definition, we are measuring whether the likelihood that an event will happen or will not happen. So that will lead us to terms of probability. So I've mentioned one in this. So we're going to look at what is the meaning of event. Event. So when we talk about event in probability, we're talking about something that will happen, something that can happen. Let's say, for instance, watching a TV is an event. Tossing the coins is an event. Throwing a die is an event. You understand? Going to a particular place is an event. Will it happen or will it not happen? That is what we are looking at in this video. So that is probability. So the event, when we talk about the terms now, we're looking at terms here. Terms. The first one is event. Event. So event is something that will happen. So for instance, e.g., watching a TV is an event. You understand? That is, you can see that you are going to watch TV in the next 1 hour. What is the probability? What is the likelihood that is going to happen? That you are going to watch it. But you don't know what will happen in the next second, right? So it is an event. Watching something. Playing football tomorrow. Playing the football tomorrow is an event, right? Another one, throwing a die is an event. Are you going to throw it? Will you throw it or will you not throw it? I'm going to jump out from a 3-story building. Will you jump it or will you not jump it? That is an event. Exactly. So that's what we refer to as event. The other thing that, because we're going to be making use of event and all these terms that I want to mention here. So number 2 is that we want to look at outcome. Outcome. Now, outcome is another term that we use in probability. When we talk about outcome, we're talking about the result of an event. The result of an event. Now, throwing a die. Now, when you throw a die, right? The result you get there is an outcome. But this outcome is very, very important, because by the time we go into details of my probability now, you should be making use of outcome possible outcome, successful outcome, and so on and so forth. We're going to explain that in details here. So outcome is the result of an event. Let's say, for instance, throwing a dice now. You can either get 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 or 6, right? So if after throwing a die, you now get what? 6. So the outcome of throwing that die is what you call is 6, which is the result. So result of an event is the what? Is the outcome. An outcome is the result of an event. So for example, the result of throwing a dice is the outcome. Is the what? Is the outcome. Exactly. Because throwing a dice is an event. That I've said that. Then another one is very important here. We make use of this word most often in probability, random. When we talk about random, is that without being biased. That's the meaning of random. So you are doing something without any kind of bias. So you are not giving preference to one or the other. For example, now if I want to pick maybe in a basket, we have different kind of fruits there. So I will just pick any one without giving preference to any one of them. So whichever one my answer thought is, that's what I'm going to pick. That's what we call it random. We make use of this most often in statistics, in probability, because we don't want to be biased when we are dealing with data, because we want to use data to make decisions. And if what you are doing, you are biased about it, you're not going to get the right outcome from it. So that's why we make use of what? Random. So the word random being used in probability means without what? Bias. So that's just simple meaning I can give to it here. Without what? Without being biased. So by the time we go into details and you understand it, you'll be seeing all these things being used in probability. So these are the ones I'm going to talk about here. Then the next one, which is a probability scale, which is very important. You need to pay attention to it. Now in probability, take note of this. In probability is between 0 and 1. So let's take it to real life now, which is very straightforward. When we talk about probability, as I've said earlier, is talking about the likelihood of something happening. If you are very sure that this thing will happen, you understand? You are very, very sure, 100% sure. There are something that we are very sure that it will happen, it will occur. So for example, now everybody will die one day, right? But we don't know when we're going to die. So someone will die is something that will happen. So that means it has 100% chance of what happening. But if you're very sure that something will not happen, very, very sure it will not happen, that is, it has 0% of what? Of it what occurring. Let's say, for instance, today is Saturday. So can we say that tomorrow will be Monday? But it's very certain that tomorrow can never be Monday if today is Saturday. So tomorrow was Sunday. So probability of tomorrow being Monday is what? 0. So that is the reason why the probability scale is between 0 and 1. So when you are calculating any probability of something, your answer ranges from 0 to what? 1. That means that you cannot get negative as part of your answer, and you cannot get a value that is above 1, or you can get 1. That is certainty. So that's what we want to explain under this aspect, which we talk about identifying and explaining probability scale. So let's look at that now. Alright, probability scale now. So I've said earlier, probability ranges from what? 0 to 1. So I'm going to make use of this diagram to explain it. So we are going to have this. So it is between 0 and 1. So between 0 and 1, we are going to have the middle course, which is half here, which is 1/2, or equals to 0.5. Right. Now, if you are very sure that something will happen, and very sure it will happen, for example, everybody will die, is certain, is very certain, it's possible. So that is what 1. Probability of it happening is what 1. Exactly. Now that is 1. So in that case, we call it. Uh, we have 2 words we can use for it. We can use possible, possible, or certain. Possible or what? Certain. Right. So probability that something will happen 100%. That's 100% chance of happening. It is what certain. Then if that thing can never happen, so that is what we call impossible. Impossible. And its probability is always what? 0. And that's the 2 extremes that we have there. Then at the middle, if probability of something happening as 50, if it has 50% chance of it happening, then it is even. It is what? Even. That is at the middle. That is 0.5 or half. Hope I'm making sense. So let's say for instance, of tossing a coin. Now, a coin. Is that you have a head or you have a tail. You can have both at the same time, right? So probability of getting a head from tossing a coin is what? Even, because it is half. It has 50% chance of happening, which is 1/2 or 0.5. I hope I'm making sense. So if that is the case, then we now have one between 0 and half, and we have another between half and what? 1. So let's start with this first one here. So this one is 0.25 or 1/4, which is 0.25. So if you have any value that's 1.4 or 1/4 or 0.25, that means that thing is unlikely. Unlikely. That is, the likelihood of that thing happening tends towards 0. That is, there's something that it will happen, it will not happen, is very high. You understand? So once you have it that way, it is what? Unlikely that that event will occur. Let's for example now, if this, assuming we are in a rainy season, right? So you now see the cloud, that this cloud is not clear, right? So we can say that the probability that it will rain the next second, the next minute, is high. But the probability that it will not rain is what? Is unlikely, because we are in the season of rain, right? So that is unlikely. Then the fifth one is likely. So that is the likelihood that it will happen is tends towards 1. That it is somehow this thing is likely to happen. It's likely to happen. Just like the example I just gave now. So if we are in the rainy season and the cloud is somehow the weather is somehow cloudy, and so it's likely to rain, because it has the chance, the probability of it happening is towards what? 1. And that's when you have 3/4 or you have 0.75. I believe this is very clear. So these are the 5 scales of probability: impossible, unlikely, even, likely, and possible. So I'll just give short note on all these ones so that you'll be able to grab it. So let me quickly write down. Pause the video now, then I'll write it on the board. So that is that. As you can see now, so possible, certain. So that is, it is an event that will definitely or certainly happen. So it has probability of 1. Then likely, which I've explained, an event that has likely chance of happening. That is, is very high. That's why it's 0.75%, 75%, or 3/4. So this could be, it could also be 100%. Understand, in percentage. This would be what? 75%. Right? Then an event that has 50% chance of happening is what? Is even, and that is half or 0.5 or 50%. While the next one is unlikely. This is an event. This is when an event has less chance of what? Happening. And you can see 1 out of 4. You can see it's very low. In that case, it's 0.25 or what? 25%. Then impossible, it will never, definitely that event cannot occur. It cannot happen. So that is what we pass as impossible. This is an event that will definitely not what happen. It is what? 0. So if they ask what's probability of something that will not happen, you just say the answer is what? 0. Is that clear? Now, let's now move into what is probability of an event. If they ask you what's probability of an event, that is, we want to look at the formula for calculating probability of anything. So probability of an event, probably we write it as P in brackets, event. So the event could be anything. It could be whatever you are given. Probability of an event is so number of successful outcomes. Please take note of this word. Number of what? Successful outcomes. You know, I made mention of outcome when I was explaining terms. Outcomes is the result of an event. So if this event, the result of this event, the result, that is outcome of this event, successful outcome of this event. So that will be number of successful outcome of that event, of an event, divided by total possible outcome. I'll give you an example, you understand? Total possible outcome. Okay, we have a coin now. The possible, when we toss a coin now, it has two possible outcomes. It has how many possible outcomes? Two. Either head or tail. So the total possible outcome of tossing a coin now is what? 2. Now getting a head. Take note. Now getting a head. A head appears how many times? Once. So that means successful outcome of head. Because if now ask you, what's the probability of getting a head in a toss of a coin? So that's the probability of head. So getting head is the event now. So equals to what will be the outcome? The successful outcome of that head is just 1. Out of the total possible outcome of the event, which is what? 2. I hope this is very clear. I will give example now. I will give example that will explain it better. But what you should take note here is this: probability of anything, of any event, is the number of successful outcomes of that event divided by what total possible outcome. Is that clear? So let's now look at example now. Let's look at this example. In a basket, there are 5 blue balls, 3 green balls, 2 yellow balls. If a ball is picked at random, what's the probability of picking the first one? Blue ball, green ball, yellow ball, and a white ball. Now let's look at this again. There are 5 blue balls. Now let's come to the formula here. So they're asking you to find probability of blue ball. So the first thing is, what is the total possible outcome, which also called sample space. So this one could also be called sample space here, or sample space. Sample space, right? Now, the total possible outcome of balls here. How many balls we have in the basket? That will be total possible outcome. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Solution. Solve this. So we have total possible outcome, total balls in the basket to be 5 plus 3 plus 2. That is what? 10 balls altogether. These are sample space. 10 are sample space or total possible outcome. Now we now want to be picking. Now look at what I explained the other time. If a ball is picked at random, that is without being biased, without what? Being biased, that ball is just picked. You can close your eyes or do something like this. They roll it. That's what they use. You know, probability, they use it in gambling a lot. So you see, if you have watched some gambling event on TV, they will be rolling, so that whatever you want to pick, you pick it without being biased, at random. If you look at when they are trying to play, get the countries that will play, when you want to play World Cup, they are going to scatter everything. You come out, they will roll it. You pick England, and I roll it. they will pick Nigeria, rolling, they will pick Egypt, and so that's how they are picking at what? Random. Random, that's what we call random picking without being biased. So in that case, so we want to pick, if a ball is not picked at random without being biased, what's the probability of picking blue ball? So what we want to do now is A now. Now we have blue balls is 5, green balls is 3, and then yellow balls is 2. So everything gives what? 10. That is total possible outcome. Let's use this side. Now, probability A of blue balls. Now, how many blue balls we have there? That is the total, the successful outcome of picking blue is how many? 5. We have 5 balls, 5 blue balls. That will be 5 out of the total, which is 10. So this is the answer. But when you have it this way, it's advised that you reduce it to its lowest step. That will give us 1/2. 5 here 1, 5 here 2. Answer. Then B, probability of green. So green. How many green balls do we have there? We have 3. Out of the total, 10. We can't reduce this, or this is the answer. We leave it this way. I hope I'm making sense. You can see probably it's very simple. Very, very simple. You understand the problem well. So probability of yellow. How many yellow balls we have there? We have 2 yellow balls. Out of what? 10. Then the last one, probability of white. Do we have white balls here? We don't have. So this is impossible. It's impossible. So that means its probability is what? 0. You need to put over 10. 0. That is what we call probability. That's how to calculate probability of an event. Is that clear? Now we still have more to talk. We still have more on probability. This is just an introduction, and this is the basic introduction to probability. But before we end this class, we're going to look at another concept, and that is mutually exclusive events, which will be the last concept we're going to look at in this video. Mutually exclusive events. Two or more events are mutually exclusive if the outcome of one prevents others from happening. That is, for example, now we have a coin. Now, in tossing a coin, we have the outcomes we're going to get from tossing a coin is what? Is either a head or a tail. So the outcome head will prevent the outcome what? Tail. That means the two outcomes are mutually what? Exclusive. Are you with me? Are mutually what? Exclusive. So that means the outcome cannot happen at the same time. We can't get the two outcomes or more 3 outcomes at the same time. So that's what we call what? The events are mutually what? Exclusive. I hope I'm making sense. 2 or more events are mutually exclusive if the outcome of one prevents another outcome from happening. So that means the events are mutually exclusive. So for example now, in tossing a coin, there there are two possible outcomes. Two possible outcomes, right? One outcome prevents the other from what? From happening. I hope this is clear. Good. So if that is the case, so let's start with if events P and Q are mutually exclusive, then probability of P or Q will be probability of P or Q. So we say that probability of P plus probability of what? Q. So this is what we call addition law, addition rule. Addition what? Rule in probability. So that is when you see the word or in probability, we are asking you to add. So or in probability means addition. So that's what this one is talking about. And it only happens when we have mutually exclusive events. Let's look at this example before we round the video up. A fair dice is thrown once. So on a dice, we are going to have number from 1 to 6. Now it's thrown once. What is the probability of getting a 5 or a 6? So making use of this one now, so we're saying that probability of 5 or 6 will be probability of 5 plus probability of what? 6. That is the meaning. So in that case, probability of how many 5 do we have on a dice? Just 1. And what is the total possible outcome in a dice? How many? 6. But it has 6 faces, which is labeled from 1 to 6. So that means, so we're going to say this, total possible outcome. Total possible outcome. So this is not necessarily an exam. Total possible outcome is what? 6. The probability of 5 or 6 will then be mixed of that probability of 5, which is 1 out of 6 plus 1 out of 6, which will give us of 2 over 6, and that gives us 1 all over 3. Hope that is clear. So the most important thing is all there, we change to what? Plus. As you can see, a plus. And because they have the same denominator, just add the numerator, that gives 2 over 6. Then we can reduce it to what? Lowest end. 2 here 1, 2 here 3, 1 over 3. So that is that on mutually exclusive event, and that is where we're going to stop in this video. So in our next video, we're going to look at playing cards. Playing cards. So how to find probability of playing cards. It's very it's very simple but somehow technical. So that's why I will dedicate a video for that. Then we look at likely questions on them, Y question, negative question, and B easy question on that one. So that I will be able to grab the concept very well. So that is that. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and make sure to turn on your notification bell. So anytime I release video, you'll be able to have access to the video and benefit from it. And don't forget to share the videos with your family and friends. It's very, very important to share with your friends and family so that many people will benefit from this laudable words opportunity. So thank you very much. I will meet in our next video. Bye for now.